Hey guys, welcome back. We're taking a look at a resealed box today, and we're going to go through the, the information at hand. It does look like somebody was scammed, and then that person passed off to another person. It is extremely dangerous. It's extreme, even if you know what you're looking at, even if you've handled a ton of this stuff, it's extremely dangerous to be buying and selling sealed product. Sealed, I'm going to say anything sealed product that's expensive. You got to be very careful. You have to be ready. You have to have that cash on hand. You have to know where you got it. And this is another one of those, like, it seems like a handoff, a buy and sell through events like Collecticon and anything else, where no one wants to take the blame. The box gets opened. It's repacked. No one wants to take the blame. No one wants to go back any steps, and that's where the issue is today. So when I warn you guys, when I bring up the fact that you should be, if you're buying or selling anything, whether it's cards, individual cards that could end up being stolen, you need to be asking. You need full identification. The same way a pawn shop needs to ID people, because if the police show up, if something turns out to be not as it seems, like in this instance, you got to be able to track that back and take actions that are required. You also need to have that money on hand. If you're buying and selling stuff, if you're selling something on eBay, if you're selling something, no matter where it is, if something goes wrong, you need to be able to refund the person that purchased it from you. If it gets lost in the mail, same thing. You can't spend the money until everything is good. Everything is cheeky deeky. And the problem with this is you don't know if it's cheeky deeky until they open the box. Again, unless you know exactly where this came from, it was sourced all the way back when it was supposed to happen, and even then, you're trusting the person that got their hands on it. And that's why anytime someone can show me 1,000 pictures of something, and I will never guarantee that that thing is legitimate. More important than anything is where the box is coming from, who the box is coming from, who owned it before. And at this point, where you have extremely old boxes, where it's been 20 to 25 years, there's probably been many owners. Well, I guess maybe not that many owners, because you're going to see the contents of the box, which kind of reveal what's going on here. So we have EA Collectibles 99, who made a post here. This is the same EA Collectibles who helped Gary find and retrieve his stolen Charizard cards, also stolen from a Collecticon. So be careful. People are going to try to steal. People are going to try to sell you stuff. Maybe they don't. Maybe it's not even them that's trying to scam you with sealed product or with stolen cards. Maybe they don't realize that it is. But you need to protect yourself. If you're somebody that's buying and selling in this area, you need to be so careful. You need to have the money on hand in case you need to refund someone. And no, the expectation is not like, oh, if I can get a refund, then you can get a refund, which is kind of what this turned into. Be careful. When you're dealing in high dollar value stuff, when you're dealing in stuff that cannot be 100% confirmed authentic, and laws are going to state that it's 5 years. 5 years, essentially, that if you sell something that is fraudulent, then a buyer has the ability to go back and retrieve their money. They're going to have to do so in a legal manner. But that's kind of what it comes down to. This is another warning, another be very careful, guys, if you're buying and selling this stuff, and if it's a lot of money. The more money, the more careful you need to be. And just buying from random Joe Blow, you got your table set up at Collecticon, you got your table set up at whatever event that you're buying and selling from, be careful. Make sure you're able to identify who the person is. It's not just some guy that comes in and sells you some stolen goods or some resealed goods and you can't track back to who it came from. Now, we have EA who says, fellow Pokemon collectors, after failing to resolve this privately for several months, we feel the need to make this public. So I did reach out to them in the DMs previous to, I'm not sure when that was, quite some time ago. And they were like, no, we're going to try to resolve this. We're going to hope that we can settle this, that they're going to do the right thing, that we're going to fix this, and nothing has to be kind of blown up in the social media manner. I'm still hoping that they're able to resolve this. I do think that it needs to be refunded. And then it's on the person. It goes down the letter. You need to make sure that you're able to get a refund from the person you purchased from if you're going to resell this stuff, because you're responsible. We were sold a resealed first edition Neo Genesis booster box for $26,340 from a reputable seller in our community. We're going to get to the video as well. Hold tight. We want to get all of the information as much as possible. My apologies for anyone with the TikTok brain. This is not going to be a 30-second video. PokeTrav, and he has refused to provide a refund despite clear video and picture evidence. Please see our pinned comment for a link for evidence and communications with Travis. All right, let's bring this over a little bit here so we can see it. Travis has refused to provide a refund, saying, "It has been too long. I cannot provide a refund to you without getting a refund from the person I bought the box from first. That would be a terrible business decision on my part." Travis also not once was willing to get on the phone with us and have a professional conversation about what happened and how to resolve things. He hid behind texting and elusive language. By putting his business first and predicating our refund on him getting one first, PokeTrav has absolved himself of all responsibility as a seller. If you're selling $26,000 items, you need to make sure you have $26,000 kind of sitting on the side. This isn't like the only item that he's selling, and I get it. Sometimes you don't want to have that extra money. You might not have that extra money. Whether you're a game store, whether you're a private seller, whatever you're doing, you need to make sure you have that money. Because what if there's other things that he sold? And I'm not blaming him. I'm not saying he resealed it. I'm not saying PokeTrav resealed it. He probably also got scammed. But you need to be careful who you're buying from. And it's not just a oopsie doopsie, not my fault anymore. I can't get a refund, so you're screwed. It's not hot potato. That's not how that works. He has been hiding behind others while posting about fancy cars and vacationing in Europe. It is shocking, shameful, and unethical. We at E&A would never tell a buyer that a refund for a counterfeit product is predicating on us getting our money back first. So that's the thing too. They were doing a box break. So they're not like, they can't be like, "Oh, you bought into the box break. Sorry, these aren't, it's resealed. So we'll give you the packs that are inside." Travis, we cannot reasonably understand why you would ruin your reputation over this, but we have already retained an attorney, and if you don't provide a refund in the next 7 days, we will be pursuing full legal action. The statute of limitations on fraud and counterfeit products is 5 years, and we are well within our rights based on our legal discussions and evidence. So we're gonna get the human centipede of legal battles here potentially. That's if PokeTrav knows who he actually purchased it from. Again, I've seen so many transactions take place at conventions like this, and it's big ticket items, and like you need to know who you purchased from and where that box came from. And it's like I've seen transactions happen, high dollar transactions, where they're just like, "Yeah, looks good. Here's some cash. Put it out on the table. We'll make a video out of it." Like, be careful. And yes, if that amount of money doesn't matter to you and you can just refund it to whoever buys it from you eventually, by all means. Sealed product is the sketchiest of sketchy areas. Not only can there be resealed product that, has fake wrap. They sell fake wrap, which usually you can discern. You can tell that it's not the right thickness. It's not the right feel. It's not the right logos. Little differences like that. But also there's watsy wrap that people have used or taken off of other products that are larger. They take that, they put the Pokemon box in it, and they shrink wrap that down, and that's very hard to tell. It becomes very difficult because it's the same wrap, it's just a bigger piece, and you got to kind of... The history of the box itself is the most... I feel like a broken record because I have to tell everyone this all the time, but where the box is coming from is more important than how the box looks, how the box feels, if you think it's real. And when it's $26,000, there's plenty of motive there for someone to fake it. One thing is for sure, we need to get scammers and unethical sellers like Travis Stevenson out of our community. Please share this to your following. There should be zero tolerance for fraud in our community. Thank you all for your support. So, I guess also, I would love to track down who was the original owner, who sold it to PokeTrav, but I hope that PokeTrav actually does make this right, does find a way to refund EA on this one. And then we can go from there. I do want to find out who was the original perpetrator who resealed this bad boy, because they're potentially in a whole lot of trouble as well. So hopefully we can get this moving. We can get this back all the way through the chain there. Now, before we get into the video and the evidence that is presented, we're going to look at the link tree. Thanks for using the link tree, guys. Best way to support the channel is to shop on trollandtoad.com with code Rattle5. Go to Card Market and just shop there. There's no discount. There's no affiliate link. They just want to be in the video. Securus Card Shop, we got something's extra spicy coming from them in the near future, so stay tuned for that. And then we have a whole lot of discount codes that you can use. Save yourself some money. Buy the stuff you want anyway to support the channel rather than sending me money. This is the best way to support the channel. Buy yourself something nice. Treat yourself, if you will. Spend your money in a good way. Spend it on stuff that's going to retain value. Spend it smart. Don't buy mystery products with any of these links. Buy actual products that you want to enjoy, that you want to own. That sort of thing. These are affiliate links. Click them before you shop. Free way to support the channel. Once again, much appreciated that everyone's been doing this. You know damn well it's hard making videos that are lengthy like this one. It's hard making videos about scammers, and those scammers false flag your videos. They get removed, and it negatively impacts the channel. But you guys have been absolute heroes using those links, and it's a win-win. Doesn't cost you anything other than a couple seconds to click it before you shop for the things that you want anyway. And I'd rather you buy yourself something than buy me something. Now, let's get into the evidence here. We have a whole slideshow here lined up. I'll probably read the notes. If you guys want to, you can pause and take a look at the text messages themselves. I did read through that already, but I am not going to bore you with it. If you want to read, feel free to pause and read. On May 7th, 2023, Alex from E&A Collectibles, a buyer, responded to a story advertisement by Travis Stevenson, Poketrav the seller, for a Pokemon English First Edition Neo Genesis box from the year 2000. I feel for Poketrav here. If he got ripped off, that sucks. And yes, he's also a victim. But the thing, he still needs to make it right for his buyer. It's not like a get at it. Just because you were scammed doesn't mean you can pass that scam along, whether you knew it or not. Buyer and seller agreed on a price of $26,340. Buyer Alex asked Poketrav to provide photos or a video of the box, including all sides of the box and seal. And Poketrav provided the video. Video can be made available for viewing upon request. We're going to take a look at that in just a second here. Communications between Alex, the buyer, and Travis Stevenson, the seller. Alex buyer asked for additional pictures of the allocated artwork side of the booster box because it appears to have some holes. It can have holes. There can be there's differences, discrepancies. Again, this wasn't something that they were trying to like scientifically make perfect to like the micron here. Like they were wrapping this stuff for mass production. It wasn't very valuable at the time. They were not predicting the future that it would be. At least it had at this point in time Wizards logos on it to make it a little bit more tamper-proof. Ultimately, Alex buyer felt uncomfortable proceeding with the transaction given the authenticity guarantee that Poketrav advertises for his products. Alex buyer sent $26,340 payment to Travis Stevenson, Poketrav seller, on May 7th, 2023 for the first edition Neo Genesis booster box. Communications between Alex, the buyer, and Travis Stevenson. All right, let's watch the video, and we'll get back to the evidence at hand. So here it is. Here's the box. Let's watch the full clip.
Hopefully we don't need them all. Hopefully we get an error box. Like when we did Expedition, we had 14 hollows. That jungle box had 15. We've had a rocket with 15. All right, we're going in. We are going in, ladies and gentlemen. It's minty. It is minty. Let's go.
Oh, baby.
It's minty. Oh, boy. Oh, boy. What does it smell like, dude? It smells like the year 2000.
I don't know. I really want to hope that that's a joke about Jacob and smelling the fake case.
Oh, yeah.
It smells a lot better than that blindfold.
You didn't like the blindfold smell, Bert?
No.
Okay, we're going in. First edition Neo Genesis. Bert, make sure it's pinned. Make sure it is pinned. Oh, my goodness. Oh, my goodness. Here we go.
Yep.
Here we go. Okay, Bert, can you put that in the container it was in, please? Can you?
So it's hard to tell from images or from the video itself what the wrap is like, whether that feels right or looks right. It looks a little off to me, but when you take a look at the logos look correct. It's hard to make a diagnosis here.
Put that in the container it was in, please. Okay.
Look at this.
Please don't be a fake box. Okay, good. Never has happened, but you're nervous every time.
So, they jumped the gun a little bit here. They thought it was real because they see the Neo Genesis packs on the top. They don't notice that there's a slit in the Typhlosion pack. They don't notice the fact that these are not first edition packs. The first edition symbol would be right over on the right side, and it is fairly large and noticeable. Now, another way to diagnose or to mitigate risk is to look at damage on the box itself and see if that lines up with the damage that's on the wrap on the outside. If the box is very damaged and scuffed and scraped and whatever, and the wrap isn't, that's a pretty bad sign. That's a little concerning. I can't do that from photos. No one can do that from photos. You have to have the box in person. You got to tilt it all sorts of different ways. You have to see, hey, is it scuffed here? Why is the plastic wrap pristine on that area? That sort of thing. To replicate the damage on the outside wrap that's on the inside, near impossible. But you need that on hand to be able to verify. And something like this, like I personally would never be buying anything like this unless I'm opening it right away and I have the ability to, and I have the guarantee that somebody, like it makes sense for breakers. If they got to break it right away. You got to break it right away because and you got to know where it's coming from, and you have to know that you're going to be able to get a refund if something goes wrong. Scary stuff. It's a lot of money.
Until you see, oh boy, look at those beauties. Look at the, I need my little stand. Yeah. Oh, bird. Don't be knocking over the camera. Okay. I need my stand.
So
that was on bird.
Notice, the packs underneath are clearly black and not silver.
The Lugia is trying to get out. The Lugia is trying to get out.
Of course you should.
Here we go.
You should join the buy-in.
Here we go. Here we go. Which pack first, guys? Which pack first?
Anne-Marie first.
Which pack first? Here we go. Oh my goodness. Hold on. Guys, Red, we have a fake box.
What?
We have a fake box.
You're kidding me.
We have a fake box. Guys, this is what happens in Pokemon sometimes. We have a fake box. I'm going to call my distributor and have a good one, a fresh one overnighted. This is what happens, guys, in Pokemon. It's part of the game.
It is
It's a good learning lesson. This is part of the game. Look at this.
Oh my God.
Look at this. This is fake. This is fake.
So what we're looking at here is probably a reseal when Hidden Fates was inexpensive. There's no other reason to put Hidden Fates. Like, you wouldn't repack this in recent times. And again, I don't think Poketrav actually repacked this himself. I think this was something that he received. He got ripped off. He didn't realize he was ripped off, and then he resold. The mess gets worse and worse every time a transaction happens with something like this. So we can pretty much date this to in around the release of Hidden Fates, because other than that, the release and the re-release, the second wave, it got pretty expensive pretty quick, and there's no reason. Like, there's no reason to put those bottom packs, to put something expensive there. It makes no sense at all. It's going to be whatever's cheapest and most available at the time, because those are never going to be seen until the box is open, and when the box is open, it doesn't matter what's down there. The unlimited packs that are on the top, pretty clear indication that this wasn't somebody that had the first edition packs and opened them and then resealed the box, because they didn't even bother to put first edition packs on the top. It doesn't matter, because when someone does the peak test, they're gonna see the tops of the packs. They're not going to be able to see where it says first ed. So is this another one of those cases? This might be one of the cases where the CT scanning stuff comes in handy, something like this, and it's going to need to be ironed out to the point that people, it's going to be encapsulated in one of those booster box cases, acrylic cases. Unfortunately, that means that you're going to be able to see whether or not the big hit is inside it, but you're also going to be able to confirm that the box is real. So it's going to be weird. It's going to be a weird thing. People are going to be weird about it, but it's essentially going to have to be a break. The same way that weighing is a thing. It's going to have to be a break predicated on, okay, the big hit is in here somewhere. They're going to have to prove that they can randomize the packs, that it's not like, the pack with the big hit is sent to the person or rigged to the person or auctioned off to the person that's going to know where it is. They're going to have to, it's going to have to be something extremely fair in that regard. And again, it's going to leave tons of room for shenanigans, and you're going to see people exploit that, but hopefully They're held to a standard that doesn't allow them to do so. Now, back to the evidence at hand. We have note on Saturday, April 6th, 2024, the booster box was opened on a live stream, and instead of the box containing 36 first edition Neo Genesis packs from the year 2000, the box contained packs from the Pokemon Hidden Fate set released in 2019. And then the Neo Genesis Resealed. They didn't even bother to put sealed. I mean, they don't really need to put sealed Neo Genesis Unlimited packs, but they probably just ordered a couple of those. Took the Neo pack, took the Neo contents out of them. Put some more Hidden Fates bulk in there. I think it was Hidden Fates. Was it a Voltorb on the front there? Hidden Fate set released in 2019. So we're looking at something that was probably resealed 5 years ago. So it could even be that the person that sold it to Poketrav might have got scammed by someone before that. We'd have to find out, and hopefully I can track down who they purchased it from. I've reached out to Poketrav and would love to see if I can trace that back to whoever owned it in that, Hidden Fates inexpensive era. And when somebody doesn't have an answer, they don't have I got it from here, and they don't have the receipts, I have it from here. That's not looking good. Please follow the link to view a recording of the box. That's the one that we just watched here on Sunday, April 7th, 2024. Alex Buyer contacted Travis Seller, informing him of the issue and sharing the video evidence. And so here's where it all falls apart. It seems that Poketrav is either unwilling or unable to refund the $26,000, which is bad. He needed to be more careful. And if he does, again, we're going to have to find out if he knows who he actually got it from and what they're saying, if they're refusing to refund because they got scammed too, and if we can drive it all the way back. But it's going to be on whoever the seller is at each step to refund the person they sold it to. That's how this works. That's how the world works, unfortunately. Same thing with stolen goods. You got to be super careful. You could buy some stolen goods. It gets taken. It's going to get taken by law enforcement, and you might be out the money. So you got to be careful. Even if you're buying single cards, graded cards especially, single cards, somebody trying to flip them, that's where they're going to go. It's essentially, you're essentially acting like a pawn shop. And the pawn shops, I think in most areas, at least the ones that I'm aware of or that I'm familiar with, need to keep a record of anyone that comes in and sells anything to the pawn shop. They need to do so because oftentimes when stuff is stolen, that's where people go to unload the stolen goods. The same thing is going to happen in Pokemon, and it's not every transaction, and it's not necessarily the person that's selling it to you directly. It could have been whoever sold it to them. If they had a table, it could have been the person before that or the person before that. I mean, these boxes have been around for a long time, and they've been valuable enough for a long time that it would be profitable, and there is motivation for people to scam using repacks. It's been a thing. On April 10th, 2024, Alex Buyer shared additional photos of the seal, which remains largely intact with a black background to showcase the consistency of the seal pattern and white Wizards of the Coast logos on the wrap. Then we have communications between Alex and Travis Seller. On April 12th and 15th, 2024, Alex Buyer and Travis Seller continued to discuss the status of the refund, at which point Travis indicated that he cannot give a refund if his business is not protected from the other end. That's not your customer's fault, because that would be a terrible business move on his part. Alex Buyer expressed disappointment that a refund was being predicated on Travis Seller receiving a refund on his end, because that pushes all the risk to Alex Buyer, which is unethical. On April 24th, 2024, Alex, the buyer, asked for an update and for a shipping address to return the box and contents. Travis Seller indicated he is still waiting on other parties and does not need the box and its contents returned at this time. I mean, they probably don't need them returned at any point. I mean, maybe whoever at the tail end of this, if somebody doesn't get their money back, they might want the Hidden Fates packs. That they're not going to be anywhere close to the value of the Neo packs that were supposed to be in there, but here we have Poketrav refuses refund May 7th, 2024. After several more weeks, on May 7th, 2024, a Poketrav seller indicated he is not willing to provide a refund for the counterfeit first edition Neo Genesis box because if I'm not getting a refund, I can't give you a refund, and because it has been too much time. This is highly unethical for a seller to refuse a refund because seller will not be receiving a refund from his own supplier. Despite informing PokeTrav of the issue within 12 months, he also suddenly introduced an arbitrary deadline for providing a refund for his authenticity guarantee. I mean, it doesn't matter if there's an authenticity guarantee or not. If you sell something counterfeit to somebody, quite certain that the law says it's, you know, if it's within 5 years, then you're on the hook. Ultimately, PokeTrav/Travis's true lack of character, integrity, and morality has shown through here in spades. He is only willing to stand behind his advertised authenticity guarantee if he is protected on his end. The other thing that concerns me is if he purchased other items from this particular person, if PokeTrav purchased other items, those are probably also resealed. Unless that person got it from someone else and those came from numerous sources. But all of this stuff, this is like the biggest thing. I tell people this all the time with like modern product. If they're buying modern product, keep your receipt. If you're the only owner of something, that goes a long way. If you built a reputation for yourself and you're the only owner and you got this thing when it was cheap and you have the original receipt, whether it's a digital one or it's a paper receipt, and you have it to match the box, that goes a long way. If it's an Evolving Skies booster box and we blast into the future and all of a sudden it's $5,000 and you can prove that you owned it since it was new and it was $100, like the trustworthiness of that box is just shoots through the roof. It's like something that people don't have to worry about, and you also don't have to worry about it as a seller. Now there's the whole CT scanning thing, and we'll see how that plays out, but enough about that. I'm so sick and tired of talking about the CT scanner thing. So we have Exhibit A here, dent in bottom left corner of the box, and placement and cracking of WotC logos. As you can see, the box from the video from the seller in May 7th, 2023 has distinctive factors highlighted in red that create a unique fingerprint of the box and that are consistent with the box opened in the video recording on April 6th, 2024. Well, I think even just based on the DMs, PokeTrav realizes that, like, hey, he got screwed over. And the whole mess just starts when he can't get his money back, if he doesn't have the money, if he doesn't want to spend, refund the $26,000. He's kind of passing the buck. Hopefully they sort this out. Hopefully he can get that money over, and hopefully he can retrieve his money from the person before. But this is not the solution that we're looking at here. This is not the ideal scenario. I mean, ideally it gets tracked all the way back to the person that resealed it, and they take the hit on it. They end up with the legal action and or law enforcement cracking down on them. And who knows how many, if they did this one box, there's a good chance that there's more of them out there that have the same problem. Be careful out there, guys, please. Digging in the bottom left corner of the box, the placement and cracking wear of the Wizards of the Coast logos folded over the front edge of the box. Exhibit B, orientation of white logos and holes on Elekid's side of the box. It was the same box. There are also distinctive factors on the right-hand side of the box, Elekid artwork, that are consistent between the video provided by the seller and the opening of the box. Hole present underneath the foot of the Elekid Pokemon, positioning size and stretching of white Wizards of the Coast logos. It doesn't sound like PokeTrav is arguing any of this. I think he's more along the lines of, like, I can't get a refund, so you can't get a refund, is my takeaway. Here we have counterfeit contents. Hidden Fates set from 2019. As shown in the video, luckily it's stuff from 2019, so you probably don't have to go that far back, that many transactions. I mean, a lot of transactions can happen in 5 years with this box. There are a lot of flipping and dipping and event flippers, online flippers, anything else, seal collectors. Seal collecting it's terrifying to me. If you don't know exactly where the box came from, like, vintage seal collecting is the most terrifying thing in the world. Like, I would just never touch it. That's me. You have to be on the lookout for altered cards, but for the most part, if a card is real, if a card has been altered. Give it a little black light, take a little look to make sure it hasn't been colored in or trimmed or anything like that, and you're probably good. Make sure that it's not too extra glossy from the old Kurt cream. As shown in the video, the contents of the box included packs from Pokemon's Hidden Fates set, which was released in 2019, and which the packs have very little value compared to the vintage packs from the year 2000 that were supposed to be in the box. That is definitely correct. So we have the PokeTrav website here, where it claims there is an authenticity guarantee. Again, you claim there's a guarantee. You didn't put any limitations on there from what I can tell. And the thing is, it's just, you're going to have to, whether the person opens it on the day they receive it or not, you're still on the hook for it. You still need to honor that, and you still need to make sure that you're doing safe business on both ends to protect yourself, to protect your buyers. And again, people get careless with this stuff, whether they're purchasing it for their own good or whether they're I feel like they're less careful. People are less careful often when they're going to be reselling stuff, because they just think like quick money, hand it off to the next person, you're on your own kind of thing. And that's the problem we're dealing with here. That's what, man, and the events, the amount of events and stuff that's being handed back and forth. Be careful. Stolen goods, resealed stuff, altered cards. We've seen people burned on it before. You need to be extra careful. If it's a significant amount of money that you can't just eat the loss on, you need to be super careful, and you need to be aware of the fact that you might have got ripped off and you passed that along to somebody else. So hopefully we can track this back. I am going to work with both of them to hopefully find out where that came from before PokeTrav. Hopefully they can settle that out. Hopefully they can get a refund, and hopefully Trav can get a refund on his stuff. So stay tuned. I'm sure there will be an update of some sort. I don't know when that'll happen, but I'm on the case. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for joining the Discord. Love you guys.